What is going on, YouTube? We are back with some more Dark Souls 2. DLC came out, Crown of the Sunken King. So I'm going to be walking you through this area, this first bonfire to the second bonfire, which is basically right at the end of the area and leads on to the next. So I had to start a new game for this, so I'm not super high leveled or anything like that, so I don't know, it's been sort of like a good challenge so far, so I've been enjoying it. There's a lot of things to try and explain. I'll probably just sort of try and do it as we go here. Big point right there. Those lights are switches, and they do that. That one's good to hit first, and you'll damage all three enemies that are up the hill. You can knock one of them off the edge and make these other two really weak. These enemies are kind of tough. I think the main thing is they seem to have a fair bit of poise compared to other enemies, so when you attack them they don't react. I take so much damage from these guys just expecting them to react to my hit, but they don't. So, but best way to deal with them is backstabs basically. They're easy to backstab and you just gotta sort of pull them one by one if you can. There's another switch up here and you can do the same thing that we just did and damage a whole bunch of the group. So, ranged weapon with lots of cheap arrows is very handy in this area, just for pulling enemies and stuff like that, and triggering the switches from a distance. So, you can see there we knock one off and damage two. I didn't actually notice it here in the gameplay, but there's a guy that comes up with it, and yeah, I don't know how I didn't see that, but he comes and gives me a friendly pat on the back here. So yeah, just be very aware of that. Like I said, they do a fair bit of damage. Like all of the enemies in this area seem to do poison damage, and that we get a ring very shortly, which is pretty helpful. Especially in the next area, there are like more poisonous versions of these enemies, and you get like poison effect on you just by getting near them. At like the build up what starts happening the closer you get to them. So. Archers have swords when you get close to them. The arrows are really nasty. You don't want to be tanking the arrows at all. Like, you want to try and pull, if you have archers shooting at you, you want to pull the like melee enemies away, which you'll see me doing shortly. Once again, lights are switches. That's basically the, I don't want to say gimmick because gimmick's such a negative word, I reckon, but that's basically what it is for this area, and that's how you get most of the items that are hidden around. There's one just up here, which you'll see me get just in a second. A lot of them you'll have to hit the switch, then jump on top of the moving platform, whatever the hell you want to call them. But yeah, I think this is the Dark Quartz ring +3, something like that, so yeah. And I'll show you where to get the poison bite ring plus, I think it's +1 or something like that. I can't keep track of these things, but that's in this same area as well. Always attack when you're doing a jump like that and you don't think you have enough room to roll. Always attack the last second and you'll do that, and you won't get the roll animation. It's just a safety thing basically. There's nothing on that other one, that other pillar, so you can drop down here if you've triggered this. It's the safer way down. Once again attacking because I'm paranoid. I think my claymore is at +7 at the moment, so you know, just trying to give you an idea of where I'm at level wise and all of that. So, like I said, not super high level or anything. I'm still, like, I'm not level 100 or anything like that. I've only beaten the Rotten and the Lost Sinner before coming here, basically. If for whatever reason you don't know, the DLC is accessed after beating the Rotten in the Black Gulch. It's like the entrance is behind the primal bonfire after you beat the Rotten, so that's the path. It's a lot more simple than the Dark Souls 1 DLC, because that was complicated as hell. Like, I don't know who figured that out the first time through, because I just wouldn't have found it if it wasn't for like YouTube videos. So yeah. Once again, these archer guys you got to be very careful with. You can't really take them out with ranged weapons unless you have like a super strong ranged weapon, because they are kind of tanky. So you just sort of got to work around them and try and pull the other guys one by one, and eventually you'll be able to get to him and stab him in the face. So you can hear off to my left these bug rooms. There's quite a few of them through this area that I've encountered. They're not really too much of a threat. Like one R2 will kill most of them, assuming you hit them like front on and you don't like miss-hit them. But the eggs, if you break them, they cause the item durability reduction, I'm pretty sure. So you'll see me later in this area, my claymore actually comes at risk and I have to use some repair powder on it. But the bugs themselves are quite easy. They sort of lurk in weird spots and try and ambush you, like this guy here. But this is the way to the poison white ring, if I'm not mistaken. Just another guy in here. But there's only a couple of variations of these guys. These ones with like the lances, the archers, and then the normal guys with the clubs. And normal guys with the clubs are definitely the most dangerous, I think. Up close, obviously the archers are a pain in the ass, but you should be able to deal with them pretty easily. So you see me here, I'm like waiting for this bug to like climb up. Like what? And naturally it waits for you to go get the item. There it is, poison bite ring +1, very handy in the next area in a couple of sections. Just that, like, the poisonous enemies allows you to actually get a backstab off on them without getting poisoned. Yeah. Just gonna run around a little bit more here. This was my 3rd or 4th time through the area, I'm pretty sure. So, you know, I'm still sort of keeping it, treading pretty carefully. Once again, the backstab's the easiest way to deal with these guys, and then you can just hit them once and they should be dead. This little switch here triggers the next pillar to our left, and then we can get the archer finally. And these switches don't reset with the bonfires, which is good, so whatever position you have them at, they will remain at, regardless of whether you die or stuff like that. So, which makes sense, that it would be very frustrating if they all changed when you died. So, this path over here, this way, is pretty much non-vital. Like, you don't have to go that way, I won't show it. There's like a Elizabethan, I can't say that, mushrooms, one of her mushrooms, and you know, like an overview of the area that's just around the corner in front of us. So these poison statue things actually have lizards under them now and move around. It's really weird, and they're really annoying. So as soon as you shoot them once, they'll start walking, but if you don't like attack them, then they'll just stay in the one spot where they are and spit in, like, yeah, spit around, spit all the poison shit. But you want to kill that one just to get this item the first time, then you can just sort of avoid it from then on. There's a club guy around the corner, yeah. Once again, backstabs, way to go. Like, so good. I'm so happy they're in the game. Like, it's kind of, I always feel like it's kind of cheap, but like I need it. So I'm not fantastic at the game. I do struggle with this quite a bit. But this next area that I'm looking at there, that's basically the way to the bonfire at the end of this area. It's a pretty condensed area. It's not very long. Like, just around, like a bit further down this doorway in front of me is the next area. So yeah, very condensed. Everything sort of, it's more of a vertical area. Like, I actually nearly die a couple of times coming up here. I have a couple of derps and fall down a couple of holes. Get a bit lucky, but But yeah, DLC so far, I'm enjoying it. There's lots of like little interesting mechanics in this area, which I really like. I like how they sort of differentiate the areas with certain mechanics, and that just it keeps it like fresh, so you're like always thinking, and you're not being treated like a complete retard with a follow me sign or a big fuck off arrow saying go here. So and yeah, right here there's a hole here to the room we were in before, so just be careful of that. I just cut out me like healing and wandering around in circles for a second there. But yeah, this is the important path if you want to get the second bonfire. It saves a fair bit of time. It means you don't have to go through that first patch of enemies, which is the main thing that it saves you from. You gotta be very careful with this little area. Ideally you want to trigger the two switches on the left here just off screen. You want to trigger both of them, then the top archers won't be able to shoot at you, and that'll like make it a lot easier. You won't have to pull these guys. I like to pull this guy right back here, just so you're safe. If this guy hits you once, then you cover a couple arrows, you're just dead at my level. Like, yeah, the arrows just cut straight through you. I haven't upgraded my armor or anything, so that's probably part of the reason as well. So once again, the archers will pull out their swords if you get up close. Failing to backstab like an idiot there. But you just want to keep moving while these archers are shooting at you, and you shouldn't cop like more than 1 or 2 arrows, and you should be okay. Yeah, like I said, the armor reduction from the eggs before, not the armor reduction, the durability reduction from the eggs before, definitely having an effect there on my claymore, so I have to use some repair powder. Then there's another guy laying on the floor here, so just use these little rocks for cover if you haven't triggered the switches. If you have triggered the switches, then you pull this guy down the hill a bit more, and the archers won't be able to get you, so that's probably the best way to do it. But it's very hard to know this like the first time you're doing it, so this is the first time through that I was playing around with the switches and actually found the next bonfire, so... Oh, excuse me. But yes, I'm very enthused about the DLC so far. There is some pretty troll shit in the next area, like straight up just mean. The most ridiculous invader ever. It's really cool that it's in there, because like if you think, I don't want to completely spoil it, but if you think about the NPC summons that you can have during the original game, the best one invades you, and he is just retarded. He just melts your face. I haven't killed him yet. I ran away like the 3rd time and found another bonfire, but I'll have to show you guys in the next video the best way to fight him, if I can even freaking beat him at the moment, because yeah, very tough. It's basically like playing against another player who has like the most troll setup ever, so yes, this is just going to fast forward this bit a little. This is me just switching all the switches, good English. Basically you want all of the pillars on the left side all raised up, and from that you'll be able to walk over the top of them and find your way to the next bonfire, and then from there you can go on to the next area a lot easier. So that's pretty much it for this area. I didn't cover all the items, or even there's some weird tree thing back there that I didn't cover, but yeah, this is the important stuff, the next bonfire. Hope this was helpful. Catch you later guys, back with another video soon.